Hi, I'm Margie Dangerfield. I'm a registered nurse, midwife, and independent Zeno partner. And I've helped almost 3,000 people using Zinzino's personalized test-based nutrition. In this video, I bring you an industry leader, an expert in their field, who is integrating Zinzino's test-based approach in their clinical practice. So if you're ready to move beyond guesswork and elevate your patient outcomes with our precision-driven strategies, you're in the right place. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us again on our Wellness Wednesday webinars. It gives me great pleasure to share with you every second Wednesday. We're bringing you incredible speakers who are very motivated with the work that they're doing and spending their time sharing their work with us. And they're really what I like to consider forward-thinking practitioners, and they're all using Zinzino's test-based nutritional program in their clinical practice to support and optimize the health of their clients. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you tonight, Leonie. Thank you for joining us. Now, Leonie,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, absolute pleasure. Leonie's topic tonight is how to supercharge your lymphatic system. Now, Leonie's a very special woman because from her serious personal health crisis that she experienced when she was 32, it actually took her from being in a wheelchair to gain a very deep understanding of how miraculous the body truly is. And it was actually her brain injury that changed every aspect of her life. And she developed and ignited this seismic shift, which made her focus on her personal health, fitness, and wellness, but just not for her own personal priority. It has driven and motivated her to go on and use that knowledge to share with the work that she's doing. So Leonie has a Bachelor of Science. She is credentialed Feel SOMA Practitioner. She is also a lymphatic, Glymphatic, and vagus reset specialist, and a qualified Advanced Pranic Healer. Now, it was in 2017 that Leonie launched her dream business called Long Live You Wellness. And now she delivers world-class movement and health education strategies to people around the world. So thank you so much, Leonie.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to share my screen and let's talk all things lymphatics. So just double checking if you can give me a thumbs up that you can see my screen and it's all clear.
Yes.
Yes, fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you for the great introduction, Margie. As Margie mentioned, I had a bit of an interesting health history, and on my 32nd birthday discovered that I had some issues in my brain. They are my brain scans there on the left. So for anybody who knows a little bit about scans, you may know that I had demyelination in my brain, which is typical of MS. However, I was never diagnosed with MS because I was never completely typical of the disease. However, I was in a pretty poor state of health, and modern medicine was not able to provide me with any magic pill or any real solution as to what had happened to my body and why it had happened. My GP worked very diligently to prepare you for my journey towards a wheelchair. But I really did not accept that as my story and knew that I had to find my own way back to good health. So that started my whole journey, my whole educational journey, my whole complete shift in how I was working, what I was doing. I was unable to work for quite a long period of time, and it took me almost 7 years to kind of crawl my way back. But the power of my lymphatic system had a huge amount to do with my recovery, and I invested a lot of time and effort in discovering how I could tap into my body's own innate ability and desire to heal. So introducing you to the lymphatic system. Excuse me. It is the body's sewage system. Gets rid of all the garbage out of our system. And we actually have 15 litres of lymphatic fluid, but only 5 litres of blood within the body. So the tricky bit is that blood, although there are only 5 litres, it has our heart to pump it around our body. Conversely, our lymphatic system has no pump and it relies on movement and diaphragmatic breathing to move the garbage out and around of the body. So it's a pressure-based system, really just like basic plumbing. Pressure moves fluid in the body. So those two things are, if you don't listen to anything else tonight, I want you to remember that your lymph can only be moved around your body via movement or diaphragmatic breathing. So who has a lymphatic system problem? Hands up if you think you've got one. Anyone? Yeah, well, Dr. Perry Nicholson says that if you're alive on this planet, you have a problem with your lymphatic system. So some of the signs that you possibly do are things like morning body stiffness, tightness, soreness or itchiness, bloating or swelling in the face, belly or extremities. It can be in skin appearance with things like varicose veins and spider veins and acne. Think about pressure, again, in the body. Painful or tender lymph nodes, chronic pain, fatigue, poor sleep, inability to lose weight, brain fog, easy bruising, and things like reduced immune function where you're getting colds and flu often, even red or grey eyes, and lots more. So it's not just about swollen ankles that a lot of people think. So here are some major lymphatic system stagnant areas of the body, particularly for women. These are often perceived as where we hold body fat, so under the arms, on the inner thigh and on the tummy. However, these can be big, stuck pockets of fluid. So perhaps you've noticed that sometimes under your arms is a little bit wobblier than others. Sometimes it's kind of okay. A lot of the time it can be just based on fluid flow, and it's not just body fat. Of course, that is a sign of lymphatic stagnation. So when our lymphatic system is working really well, it's like a beautiful, clean, crystal clear fish tank, like the one on the left. So in that environment, our cells are able to thrive and they get everything that they need out of that environment. Conversely, on the right-hand side, when lymph is stagnant, your cells are swimming in a dirty, toxic, low oxygen, acidic environment, and the whole system becomes inflamed. So bacteria love a dirty fish tank, as do viruses, toxins, parasites, even cancers, fungus, metabolic waste, everything accumulates here. So if anyone has ever had a fish tank, you would know that when the fish tank is dirty, the fish will even come to the surface of the tank to gasp for air because it's a very low oxygen environment and obviously not healthy for our body at all. So we have 6 big choke points in the body. Nature was super clever and it put our large lymph node clusters near major joints in the body because, remembering that we rely on movement and nose breathing to move lymphatic fluid around the body. So the collarbones are hugely important areas in the body as they control pressure, This is meant to be the lowest pressure point in the body so that, for example, we can get fluid back from our feet, fighting gravity, to come back to our collarbones. So the largest drainage point for lymphatics is actually your left collarbone, and 75% of the body drains to there. So our collarbones are a really important place to pay attention to. So we have our collarbones, we have the corner of the jaw on the side of our neck, the upper cervical lymph nodes. The largest lymph node in our neck is here, and that is what is responsible for draining our brain. We have the pec and armpit region for the abdominal area, tummy kind of area. I have a very large lymph node in there. Inguinal or hip creases, and behind the knees. So these are what we term big six choke points. These are very common areas in the lymphatic system that get choked off. And the lymphatic system is a one-way loop. So there can be a choke point anywhere in the system, and that can create pain, inflammation, discomfort anywhere in the human body. So you can see by my picture on the left-hand side, I'm not sure if you can see the numbers, but I've highlighted the 6 big choke points. So in our modern day world, we are more and more sedentary, and we are often sitting at computers for very long periods of time. And although I'm exaggerating in this picture, you will see that most of us are in a forward head position. We're often looking at our phone also. So we choke off all 6 major lymphatic points, often all day, every day. It's not a good scenario. So just a few facts. There are over 700 lymph nodes in the body, and a third of them are in the neck. So when we are in this forward head posture, often we're choking off a lot of our lymphatic flow. When we are relaxed and we have a beautiful clean fish tank, you do move better, have less pain, and a reduced risk of injury. So your cells are trying to thrive within the environment that they live within, but they are either in a growth state or a defense state. They cannot be in both. So you can probably imagine that if your fish tank is dirty, your cells are going to be in defense mode most of the time. So as I mentioned, a clog anywhere in the lymphatic system loop can cause pain, discomfort, inflammation, or stagnant fluid anywhere in the body. And that is where I spend a lot of my time in the work that I do. Pain is usually a symptom in the body where things have ended up, but it's not usually the cause of someone's pain and discomfort. So I help people to discover in their own bodies where they are stagnant lymphatically, how their detox organs are functioning, and also to help them with releasing fascial adhesions that are like a tight fist and do not allow fluid to flow through them. So body fat is often a sign of a poorly functioning lymphatic system also. So when we are quite toxic, our brain is wired purely for our safety and survival. So our brain will surround toxicity with body fat as a way of protecting the system. And our brain will not be prepared to let go of any body fat if the system is inflamed and toxic, because it's looking after your survival. So often I'll have people saying to me, I can't shift weight, I just feel really terrible. We have to peel back to helping to detoxing the system before that will often start happening. So separate to all of that, of course, if your omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio is out of balance, you will also have rigid cell membranes. So you've got rigid cell membranes. Cells can't get nutrient in easily and toxin out readily. And on top of that, the cell is swimming within a toxic environment. So quite frankly, Houston, we've got a big problem. What can we do about it? All right. So there are lots of things that you can do in your day-to-day life to help your lymphatic system. Obviously, you need to move as much as you can and as many different ways as you can. Some very easy things that you may like to jot down or try and remember are simple things like walking backwards, walking uphill, walking with purpose. And that means not looking down at your phone and half kind of watching what you're doing, walking like you're on a mission, like you're trying to get to the train if it was about to take off. So anything that involves your calves are known as the second heart of your body, and they are great to help to pump fluid around. So any rebounding, star jumps, my favorite is getting up and down off the ground at least 10 times, because if you think about your body as a bag of water, every time you get up and down off the ground, you are really moving fluid around the body. But the most important thing that I can suggest that you do for yourself is a very simple massage on the 6 choke points of your body once per day, and then perform some movement for at least a minute afterwards. So that movement may include getting up and down off the ground, or it may include some rebounding, etc. When you do massage your 6 big choke points in the body, it can look as simple as what I'm doing above and below the collarbone, but the place that you need to start first always is your left collarbone, because remember, that's like, I tell people that's like pulling the plug out of the bathtub. If you don't do this first, you can try and move the fluid around everywhere else in the bath, but it can't get out of down out the drain, out of the house. So left collarbone is always first. The second thing that you can do for yourself is, of course, to practice nose breathing. We live in a really stressful, overscheduled, busy world. So when we are stressed, we revert to mouth breathing. And when we mouth breathe, we're not pumping our diaphragm, and our rib cage is not expanding to help to control pressure and fluid flow in the body. So nose breathing is really important. Something to add to that is if you are snoring, that's a definite sign of mouth breathing overnight. And that means that your brain is not getting the power wash overnight that it really wants to help your brain to function really well. So nose breathing is hugely important. Obviously, omega-3 fatty acids support a healthy lymphatic functioning system in terms of reducing inflammation and toxicity in the body. So getting back to the omega-6 and omega-3 ratio, so scientists recommend that we need to be in a ratio of no more than 3:1 to be in a good state of health. So as I mentioned earlier, when a omega-6 to omega-3 balance is higher than 3:1, that is when our cell membranes become hard or rigid and nutrients are not getting easily and waste is not getting out. It's coming out slowly. So our diet is also full of ultra-processed food. We have an excess of omega-6. That also really overburdens our detox system. And you can even feel in yourself that we have enlarged detox organs. So I'm going to invite you to just have a little feel through your ribs. So if you find underneath your rib cage, just dig your fingers in, see if you can kind of hook up and under your rib cage. And I just want you to notice if you can get your fingers up and under more easily on the left or on the right. Can you tell me, is anyone noticing on the right-hand side that it feels more restricted? It's harder to get your fingers up and under. Give me a show of hands. Can anyone feel that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's an indication that your liver, your major detox organ, it's overburdened and it becomes enlarged. So we're going to take that a step further and put your finger in your belly button. And close to the belly button, I just want you to dig in and have a little rub around. Go all the way around your belly button and see if on the kind of bottom right-hand side of your belly button, if it feels tender, if it feels tight or uncomfortable. Does anyone feel that around your belly button? Hands up? Maybe, maybe not. That's okay. So some people will feel that also. So that is where our liver is attached down there by a ligament called the falciform ligament. And sometimes the liver can be so overburdened and enlarged that that point is also really tender because it's under tension. So remembering anywhere in your body that is holding tension, it doesn't allow fluid flow through readily. So our poor detox system is under so much pressure, and our digestive system is obviously not able to work as well as it would like to either. So the whole lymphatic system, and that includes glymphatics as well, which is your brain's drainage, it needs our help. We already know that we can support our 6 big choke points by massaging 6 choke points, by moving and nose breathing. But we also need to support the health of our cells with Zinzino balance oil, EPA and DHA, which are unique due to its oxidative stability index, and of course the presence of polyphenols, which keeps the oil fresh. And we know through testing 1.3 million fatty acid profiles that it has effect on the cell membrane. So there are a couple of references down there on the bottom as well that you may choose to have a look at, which will give you more information on the link between omega-3 and the function of your lymphatic system and reducing your inflammation. So I really like this quote from Dr. Sherry Rogers. She says it doesn't matter what your doctor calls it, it always involves toxicity. And that was certainly the case for me. A lot of the time we put emphasis into what is coming into the human body, but not many people seem to talk about what's coming out. If you're not pooing every day, I would say that really needs some work, because we're holding that toxicity in our body if our excretion systems are not working well. I'm a huge fan of Xenobiotic for exactly that reason. And many of you will know already that, of course, our gut health is very, very important in this day and age. And gut dysbiosis is a huge, huge problem. So continuing to work on a clean, fresh, whole food diet that is full of fiber will, of course, help your body as much as possible to keep your fish tank clean and to keep your cells thriving. So I also love this quote: when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows and not the flower. It makes absolute, total common sense, absolute no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Your lymphatic system and your omega-3s are so closely tied together in terms of supporting your immune system and helping your body to function really well. So remembering, in summary, keeping your fish tank clean, you need to move. You need to move often in as many different ways as you can. Move all of those joints. Practice your nose breathing. And of course, if you haven't tested already, I highly recommend that you take a Zinzino test to see what is happening for you on the inside, and support yourself with balance oil and Xenobiotic. So before I finish, just sharing my details there if you would like to get in touch with me with any questions or would like to see me with any of the work that I do a lot of movement as well, but it's not traditional type of movement. And a special thanks to Dr. Perry Nicholson for some of my resources this evening. I am going to stop the share for a moment and I'm going to make you move before you all leave me.
Okay.
So I'm going to get everybody to stand up for me and we're going to do a little move, which I call a sit and reach. So it's a little bit like a squat, really, or sitting your bottom back in an imaginary chair. And all I want you to do is take a moment and assess your movement. So all I'm going to do is sit my bottom back in my imaginary chair, raise my arms out in front with fingers spread, but I want you to do it super slowly. I want you to nose breathe and I want you to tune in to wherever your brain awareness goes to. So I get to a certain point in that move and I can notice, a bit of glute tension. Just want you to notice what you feel. Do one more for me. I want you to notice both knees as well. Just notice if your body weight is, when you're sitting down, is your body weight even on both sides? Notice how you feel. Okay, once we've done that, all I want you to do now, I'm going to raise my knee just so that you can see it, but I'm going to get you to apply heat and friction on your right knee as vigorously as you can, nice and fast, just like warming up cold honey. Let's go in all different directions. Make sure you go behind your knee as well. So when we're warming up